So I wanted to do this live this evening about the law of polarity. Now, everybody's heard about the law of attraction, you know, the secrets that have made that very, very popular. And so tonight we're talking about a law that you may not have heard of before, which is the law of polarity. It's quite, in a way, it's linked to the law of attraction. In fact, there are 7 spiritual laws of success. Go Google them if you want, but one of them is the law of polarity. And what the law of polarity states is that there's always an opposite, an equal. Yeah, so there's sort of black and white and in and out and up and down and breathing in and out, night and day. Oh, your right side, your left side, you know, there is always kind of an opposite equal, all right, a yin and yang. They all really are, they come back to this law of polarity. And so how does that affect us in our businesses and in marketing? Well, that's what I'm going to be talking about this evening, the law of polarity, because this spiritual law, obviously, because it's a spiritual law, it encompasses every part of our lives, from like health and relationships. Why wouldn't it affect us in business and our marketing? So that's why I wanted to talk about it, because it's like, how does this law affect us? So basically, the law of polarity, as I said, it's like an equal opposite. And so there is an outside business and there's an inside business. There are outside marketing things you can do, and there's the work you need to do inside. You can always, I always think that you can always think of it like a computer as well. You know, you've got the hardware and the software, and in marketing I think that's a really good kind of way of looking at it, because you've got all the and business, because you've got all the infrastructures, which I would say are like the outer structures. They are as I said, the structures, the system, the outside infrastructure. Website is an external, right? But then you've got internal, which is more like the language, the programming, and that is, if you look at like computers, that's the software. And so brilliant. Yeah, Joanne's here. Hi Joanne, caught up with the live, she says. Whoop whoop. Yeah, brilliant. But actually, let me just mention something to you. Yes, thank you. I've kind of like forgot to mention this, which is that if you want to comment on this video, ask me questions, that's brilliant. What you need to do, folks, if you wouldn't mind, is actually click on the video itself, and that will lead you to the live stream. And I'm going to be able to see then the questions that you put in. Now, I have got the wonderful Kath on admin tonight having a look in all the groups, because this is streamed to several groups. And so from that point of view, we're looking at all those different groups to see any comments. But if you could, if possible, if you want to ask me any questions about this, please pop them, literally click on the video itself and then put the comments in the box. Brilliant. Anyway, let's get back to this law of polarity. So what is it within is without, it's the reflection, it's like a big mirror. And so let's give you a tangible example of this. So let's think. So outer laws for business would be like money management, the advertising, this is the structural stuff. And then the inner laws, that's your inner game. This is your beliefs, your self-esteem, your intentions. And if we take like an artist, for example, to give you an example of this, I could have chosen a carpenter or whatever trade you look at, but let's take an artist, because I love art. So artists, the actual outer world of an artist is the tools of the trade. Hi, Emma, how you doing? So the artist, and Emma's an artist, so she'll understand what I'm saying. So an artist, the tools of the trade, the outer world of an artist is the canvas, the brushes, the oils, maybe the palette knife. It doesn't have to be oils, of course, it can be any other medium, but it's that external. Inside game of an artist is very different. That's the masterful skill set that you learn to become an artist, because an artist is someone that can actually apply those principles. And yeah, we won't go into all the different types of art, because some people would argue with me about the application, but we ain't going to go there. But the point is that, yeah, because art is so beautifully subjective and emotive, and I love it. But can you see what I'm saying? You have your external tools of the trade, and you also have the internal work you need to do. And business is no different from that. So for instance, you can get the prettiest websites, you can get all the infrastructure and everything, but actually, if you haven't learnt the interaction skills, the human communication skills that you need to interact with your customers online, there's one thing, isn't there, interacting with customers face to face, you might be really, really good at that, but can you actually translate that into the online world and really connect with customers online? So that's an internal game. So another truth bomb I'm going to drop here is the fact that some of you are going to say, no, that's wrong, but it is so easy to set up a business. Believe me, it really is. Honestly, the difficult thing in business is to blooming keep it going. That's the thing. The easy part is like, yeah, I'm going to set up a business. I got a website. I've got some products to sell. Woohoo, I'm off. Yeah. No, that doesn't make a business. A business, you need to survive. You need to thrive. You need to keep going. Yeah. And so from that point of view, the external, can you see how the external has to balance up with the internal? You can get all of the business structures under the sun, you can get all the marketing structures under the sun, but if you haven't got the skill set, if you haven't learned the trade to become the master, then, because why should business be any different to anything else out in life? That's like buying a bike and not learning to ride it. It's like, so how confident are you about your business? Let's have a look at the inner game for a moment, because this is all about alignment. You see, and what happens, you see, is when you align the inner and the outer game in any area of your life, it then clicks and then it aligns, and that's where the flow happens. And that's when we find, oh my goodness, this is quite easy. I like this. I'm having fun. But when it doesn't go into alignment, 9 times out of 10, it's because the inner game has gone off out of sync and there's conflicting beliefs. Because that's the thing here, is that you can have a belief about, I want to earn more money. Yeah. But if you've got a subconscious inner game belief about, I'm not worthy, or all people who are rich are bad people, or, oh my goodness, people who own businesses, they're all kind of like, oh, they're not my identity, because identity is a big one here. Can you see how that conflict comes in and it swings out of alignment? So how confident are you about your business? How do you think about your business? This is a big one. Is it a passion hobby? Is it a passion hobby? From that point of view, a passion hobby is a little bit like a friend or a comfy jumper. It's nice, you can kind of like put the jumper down when you want it. You can pick it back up and put it on. You can call your friend, or maybe you don't want to call your friend. It's like a hobby. And I'm going to come on to this because this is a big thing I notice when I speak to some women on the phones, is that they are in the hobby belief of a business and they want to move out of that. They actually want a successful business. They want a proper business making money. And they've still got a conflicting belief there about it being, a passion and a hobby. The language they're using are those words, and sometimes I have to be a beautiful mirror for them and actually just say, ooh, very, very gently and lovingly, and sometimes a bit more forcefully, my style, which is just shooting from the hip and saying it as it is like, hang on. Oh, we got a little bit of a conflict going here in terms of an internal belief. So, how do you think and feel about your business? Are you respecting it as the powerful business entity and the financial liberator that it can be when you get it right? Okay. And as I said, this is about a masterful game. You don't become a master overnight, and you shouldn't beat yourself up for that. It is a kind of a learning. I mean, we're here, all of us on this planet, to kind of just experience life, to make mistakes. The important thing in business is about failing forward every time, failing forward. Edison and his light bulb is the great example. He failed 1,000 times. Yeah. Or rather, as he put it, he found 1,000 ways not to invent a light bulb. So, okay. So how do you feel about yourself and your business? Self-worth is a biggie here. Your business will never exceed your identity. Your business will never kind of exceed your self-worth. And your net worth are very, very intrinsically linked. Okay, so that's another little kind of like nugget there for you. How well do you communicate with others? As I said, can you speak to people face to face, or is it difficult for you to kind of translate that and connect with them online? Because that's where very powerful copywriting skills come in, because when you know how to communicate with your ideal target audience, that piece goes into alignment. How much do you trust other people? That's an interesting one, isn't it? Trust. If we are untrusting in our life and we are a mirror and the law of polarity is taking place, how do you think that comes across to customers? So we have to look at how our mirror and how we are projecting and how that is going on into the world, into our businesses. What else have we got? Do you feel worthy and deserving in your business? Do you feel deserving and making a decent income from your business? Have you got some kind of self-sabotaging beliefs going on about your business as a whole? Perhaps, as I said about failing forward, perhaps you've had a business failure. We all do. If you're in business long enough, my goodness, you're going to have quite a few failures. Welcome to the world of business. The thing is that if you carry that baggage with you into a new business, even if you know, oh my goodness, I don't want this, what you're doing is that energy is locked in. And so that inner game is going to be conflicting with the outer game. So you could set up another business again and it could be absolutely brilliant. You could be trying your hardest to kind of like make this new business. Yeah. But if you've got inner beliefs conflicting and fears and doubt and kind of like, oh my goodness, it's going to happen. Oh, I don't want it to happen again. I don't want it to happen again. Guess what? So, this is exhausting stuff in a way, because it's like peeling an onion, folks. It's like taking off the layers of an onion one bit at a time. Oh my goodness, I'm here again. Oh, not another layer, not another layer. And the thing is that that's what, in the end, that's what it's all about. It's about peeling back the layers of the onion. So the inner game of business is all about your character, the way you think, your beliefs. The outer game is about the expression of that into the world, all right? So, and you will always reflect your inner world into your outer world. Right, so what else have we got here? So what happens? What does this look like when it goes out of alignment then? So give you a clue, because you might not know. You might be thinking, well, that's very well, Heather, you're saying this, but I haven't got a clue where my business is out of alignment at the moment. Well, as I said, let's go back to this hobby business thing, because this is one that came up recently, and I was managed to really support a lady, the woman that I've spoke to about this. So you might say something like, oh, I love my business. It's a passion. It's my hobby. I really want this to be a successful business, Heather. Yeah. Okay. So let's just dissect that snapshot in time of somebody saying that sentence. Can you see the conflict in that statement? She wants a hobby, it's a hobby and a passion, but she wants a successful business. Now, those two don't go together, folks, all right? The bottom line is a definition of a hobby. I actually printed this off of the internet, right? A hobby is a regular activity done for enjoyment, typically during one's leisure time, not professionally and not for pay. Is it any wonder that the mentality of this is it's a put down, pick up kind of situation? Again, that comfy jumper, the hobby. The difference is that you can have that same passion and that same fun that you would have with a hobby, but it's a different mindset shift in terms of the internal game has to shift in terms of identity of you showing up in terms of this is a business, and actually it has to be treated with the respect it deserves. So Tracy said, so many people don't get the hobby business thing. Then it gets messy and less enjoyable. Absolutely, because you see the frame that they've got is that it's a hobby, it's a passion. And when you have that frame, instead of kind of treating it with the respect of saying, okay, so there are three main parts to a business: operations, sales and marketing, and finance. Any business on the planet has those three things. And if you are not running a business, it will tend to run you. And then it gets very, very icky and nasty. And it starts acting like actually probably a 2-year-old child having a tantrum on the floor and running wild. Okay, so yeah, and I could have a whole other live about that one. So yeah, a hobby is something that we do when we want. We can walk away from it if we're not bothered about it. We can change it and do something else, because it's a hobby at the end of the day. We have no kind of real loyalties to it. Business is very, very different, because a business is not about you. Hobby is, yeah. A hobby is about your passions, your purpose. Oh, this is for me. A business is about service to others. It's about providing something that other people need and want and getting paid your worth for it. Yeah. So that's the bottom line about a business. And so can you see the different conflict in that statement in terms of hobby business, success, hobby, passion, successful business. So those are a conflict. So there's an inner game thing going on there. And, you know, believe me, this lady that I spoke to, she has an incredible outer kind of business. Yeah, her products are brilliant. There's a bit of a conflict there, though, in terms of taking up to the next level. And yeah, well, we'll see where that one goes, because we're going to be helping her. So the bottom line is that your business can only grow to the extent that you do. And that's the inner game again. So in business, there's an invisible and a visible. If you've got, so let's have a look at these two things. If you've got a very visible business, so you've got great products, you've got a great website, you've got a great brand, and everyone's turning around and saying, oh my God, it's so great, brilliant. I love what you're doing. I love your, oh my God, look at your website. It's incredible. And look at your products. And yeah. And then behind the scenes, they don't realize this, but you're not making any money. That is really, really painful. Okay. So can you see how there's a piece out of alignment there with the inner game? Because 9 times out of 10, when a business has that scenario, what's actually happening is that there is some kind of conflicting belief going on about a fear of selling, or there's money blocks going on, obviously without knowing the actual particular, you know, and digging a little bit deeper on that one. But there's usually a conflicting belief going on there about money, wealth creation, building a business. Maybe their identity is not as a business owner, as a successful business owner, and what that looks like. So a lot of identity work to go on that one, to do with the person themselves, to do with cash generation, because that's what they ain't making. And so that's where the mirror comes in. It's like, if you look at your business and there is an area of your business that isn't working, it's about challenging yourself and saying, where is this showing up in my life? Because it's reflecting my business. So let's give you an example of that. Pricing. Pricing is a great example of this one. So, do you look for bargains? Do you look for bargains? Do you look for things on offer? Do you haggle? Do you like a good discount? Ooh, that's a bit expensive, isn't it? Do you invest in yourself? All of these things are a direct mirror that could reflect back at you in terms of customers coming to you and going, oh, that's a bit expensive, isn't it? Oh, can you offer me a discount? Oh, is that on sale yet? Oh, I love it when you have a sale. Can you see the mirror? So the questions, if you have got that going on in your business, questions really are question your beliefs about pricing. You know, one of the great questions I love asking people is, would you buy what you're selling at the moment for the price point it is? Yeah, because that's really, really interesting, because there is a set point for all of us on our worth and what we believe things to be true. And so, for instance, you could say, especially if you're pricing on either looking at competitors' pricing, or you are just pricing on the features and benefits of what you're selling. That's a danger zone, folks. Never, ever sell on features and benefits, because quite honestly, what you're offering to the world is so much bigger than that. So it's not just about looking at your pricing. If you do change your pricing, it has a knock-on effect in terms of alignment, because business is very much like a back. Yeah, I say this in my webinars. It's like a spine. And the reason I talk about alignment is because if you look at a spine and it goes out of alignment, you get a bad back. It's really, really painful, isn't it? And yeah, you know, my love goes out to you if you do have a bad back, because I suffered with one for many, many years, and thankfully now I don't, because of the wonderful chiropractic community. But alignment in a bad back, if a bit goes out of alignment, it can affect everything else. So for instance, a lot of people who have bad backs, all of a sudden they'll find that their knee is causing them a problem, and then their ankle is causing them a problem. Or maybe they'll get a shoulder that's out, or maybe their fingers start to kind of like, they can't work their thumb anymore. You know, so alignment in your business is exactly the same, and also in your marketing and in your messaging and in your mindset. If a piece goes out of alignment, what is going to happen is it's going to have an impact somewhere else in your business. And so that's why when you fix one thing, it isn't a case of just fixing that one thing. You've got to then look at the chain of, oh, okay, that has a ripple effect, like a domino effect. And that's why it's really important to look at a holistic view on this, rather than just fix one problem. You can fix that one problem, but as I said, it swings one thing into alignment, then it'll knock other things out as well. So have we got, let's have a look to see if we've got any questions in this group. Oh, Jojo says that's me at the moment. Jojo, what do you mean? What's going on for you, honey? If you want to post in the question, don't forget, if you want to put a comment, please, literally, no, I'm poking at the screen. Press the video thing, yeah. Put your mouse on the video, click that, and then you'll come through to the comment stream on here. And then I can answer your questions. Does this what I want to know is this all making sense to you all? That's why give me a thumbs up or a kind of a comment. I'm gonna wait because it's a little bit of a delay here, trying to get questions through. I mean, for you, where can you see, if you had to identify a part of your business right now that is out of alignment, can you identify the bit of you that might be that mirror, that kind of a polarity, the law of polarity coming in? Yeah, as I said at the beginning of this live, 7 laws. Law of attraction is one. It's the most kind of like recognized one on the planet because of all the talk about it. But people don't talk about the law of polarity, and that will sabotage the law of attraction, believe it or not, because you can say, I want this, I want that. But what happens if you have a conflicting belief that you don't address? What's going to happen is it's not going to resonate correctly, and you're going to sabotage. It's never going to happen. And that happens so much when people say to me, oh my goodness, I've been doing all these affirmations, I'm into the law of attraction, I watch Esther Hicks, I do this, I do that, but it's still not working for me. Why won't it work for me? And they're bringing all that frustration energy in, and it's like, well, there's a start. But the point is that there is a direct belief sabotaging what they actually want, and a lot of the time it's to do with wealth creation. That's a really biggie for a lot of people. But yeah, let's have a look, see if there's any questions at all. Pop them in the feed if you want to, please. I'm just going to have a look to see if there's anybody on our. Just going to check for questions at the moment. Let's have a look. Let's have a looky-see in the feed. In the meantime, talk amongst yourselves. Hang on. Oh, here we go. Hang on. Nope. Got another one. Oh, here we go. Jojo says, my issues are with pricing. Because I've moved countries and here isn't as high an income. Oh, that's really interesting, Jojo. Okay. Joanne. The thing is that we will always find what we are looking for. Let me just say that again. We will always find what we're looking for. And so if we have a belief that we've moved to another country and they can't possibly afford, our prices anymore, and we've had to alter them, we've got a choice there. You can either look for the people in the market that will afford to pay for what you're offering, or you need to up your game so that comes into alignment. Or, nowadays, Joanne, can you remind me what you do? Because I can't remember what you actually do. Depending on what you are offering in terms of a product or service, there is always a way nowadays to actually, you don't have to sell to your immediate vicinity. That's crazy to think that you are limited nowadays. I mean, fair enough. Even if, I tell you what, yeah. So I've got somebody coming to my head going, yeah, but Heather, it's a hands-on service that I provide. I do it myself as a hands-on. I had a hands-on business, and I had to change and transform. Yeah, I could tell you that story. I'm not going to tell you the story, but I had to change and transform it. And so what I did is I thought, well, it's a hands-on on product and service that I've been doing. How on earth do I monetize this? I'm not going to walk away from all this expertise. And that's exactly what I did. I packaged up my expertise and I became a teacher in it. And then went worldwide with that business, ironically. And that's the thing that I'm saying is, just because you move countries and it isn't as higher income, I think that's a bit of an inner job going on there, Joanne, if I may say so. It's about actually recognizing that if you have a product that is packaged and positioned correctly in the market to attract the ideal customers that you actually want, then there's always a way of doing this. It's either kind of a pricing issue, a packaging issue, positioning, medium, offering readings. Yeah, Joanne, there is no, I'm sorry, just gonna call it out as it is. There is no reason you can't be an international business. It is not, it's got nothing to do with where you are. Your services that you offer are international. Just saying. And I mean that with a lot of love. honestly, it's a belief you've got, Joanne. That is going to sabotage your income levels and everything. You've got an international business there. Anybody on the planet would love a reading from a medium. So Fang said, Fang, what a fabulous name. It's probably not pronounced Fang. I do apologize if it's not pronounced Fang, but fab name. Fang is saying, what about undercharging? Some people say you charge not enough. Okay. Yeah. Undercharging is a big one, you know. Do you know some people have like doubled their prices and got more customers from doubling their prices? I see it a lot. It could be that, yes, you are absolutely undercharging. Now, that is a reflection of an inner game of, that's a worthiness issue going on in terms of your inner game, you know, not charging enough, not being enough. Yeah, that's something, Fang. And hey, listen, not blaming, shaming anybody on this at all, watching it on replay. Or what I'm saying is that we all have self-esteem issues. We all have self-worth issues. I don't care who you are on the planet, even if you're a multimillionaire. There are some things going on in mindset. So the devil is always in the level. And what does a person who's earned £1 million want? They want 2 million. You know, what does somebody wants who's like got 10 million? Well, they want 100 million. It never stops. The levels never stop in kind of wanting expansion and growth. So Fang, I would say, is that's something to do with change your self-talk. There's some great books. Okay, so let's give you a book, folks. Right, hang on. Where's my book? Where's my book? Have I got it down here or not? Oh, I think it's up in my house. So basically. There's a really good book, Tapping into Wealth. Okay, Tapping into Wealth is a great book by Margaret Lynch. I would strongly recommend that book to anybody who has any wealth blocks, any inner game things going on. Get that book. It is superb. I love it. So Fang, that would help you. I would recommend you getting that book if you're able to on Amazon or something like that. Tapping into Wealth, Margaret Lynch. Really, really good one. Yeah, I'm making, so hang on then. So Joanne is saying, oh yeah, Fang, right, yeah, Tracy's saying, Fang, listen to your audience, charge more. Absolutely, I'm with Tracy on that one. Joanne is saying, yeah, I'm making very little from here, but online is a little better. Yeah, well, you know, as I said, inner outer game. We can try and force the outer game, and that's where we have, and I see this a lot, where we have the all the gear and no idea, I call it, which is probably a little unfair, but it's like the, you know, the flashy website and the really lovely brand and the lovely products or services, and yeah, that's the outer game is an alignment. Yeah, that's brilliant, that's lovely. And the inner game, oh my goodness, they haven't got the inner game up there. Some beliefs there sabotaging the inner game. Maybe there's communication issues. As I said, we're talking about the inner game is very much heart-soul connection. It's about communication. It's about connection. And so from that point of view, you can have all the outer game done, but if you're still not selling as much as you want, then that's an inner game thing going on. And that means that it's out of alignment somewhere internally. So yeah, it's about aligning everything, because when you up level, you have to bring both of these sides up. That's the other thing. So the outer and the inner have to be at the same kind of resonating at the same level, because that's where the flow happens. That's where the alignment happens. So you can have the best brand ever and the best products and lovely, and if the inner game is over here, yeah, you're going to have to make that leap up to that level, and then things start flowing and clicking. And I see that a lot, is that when you get the inner game in alignment with your mindset, that is really powerful. And that's why I talk a lot about mindset, because, you know, I can help people build the biggest businesses and the best marketing infrastructures possible for them where they are right now, because they freak out too much if we take them up too many levels. But the bottom line is that if you don't do the work, the inner work to bring the levels up, then you're gonna, there's a lot of discomfort in that. I go back to that analogy about the spine and it being out of alignment. It can be really, really painful. So let's have a look, see if we've got any more questions. Let's have a look. It's fabulous, says Zoe. What's fabulous, says Zoe? Zoe, what's fabulous? I'm curious now. What's oh, Fang says, yes, thank you, Tracy and Heather. Yeah, Fang, yes, stick your prices up. Double them. No. Actually, what I would say, Fang, in all seriousness, it's not just about doubling prices. It really isn't, because as I said, outer, inner. So you could double your prices, but that's going to send other things out of alignment. So for instance, if your communication, if you're not targeting the right audiences, that will swing out of alignment. If you've got your website is not up to the standard of your prices, so your product might be priced correctly and it might be separate to your website, you'll be able to sell it, but when you come to selling online, there's a disconnect. There we go. And that's what, give me 5 minutes with any of you and I can diagnose exactly in 5 minutes exactly where your businesses are out of alignment, all of you. 30,000 foot view, 30 years of doing this, I can pinpoint it exactly. Bang, there we go. We've got, just like a chiropractor does, of running their hands down a spine. It's like, whoa, there we go. We've got some out of alignment there with a vertebrae. We've got, okay, exactly the same. I'm like a business chiropractor. Yeah, Zoe said, yeah, it's the book Tapping into Wealth. Yeah, fabulous. Yeah, I'm glad you like it, Zoe. Yeah, it's really, really helpful to a lot of people. And I didn't know about it until probably about 4 months ago. And I discovered it. And I was like, wow, I love this. So, okay. So have we got any other questions? Any other questions you have about the law of polarity? You can talk to me about how it affects the law of attraction. I have mentioned that, but anything to do with your marketing, anything to do with your business, this is your opportunity. We're live here. I'm here to actually help and support you. So if you have any questions, pop them in the feed. But I hope that's helpful to you all to actually recognize that it's not just getting business infrastructures. It's not just getting all of that activity stuff. So many people, they jump ahead in business to all of those activities. And then they're like a headless chicken running around everywhere going, oh my God, I can't cope with this. I got to post on social media and I've got to do this and I've got to do that. And that's because they're actually projecting too far into the future. And really what we got to do is bring right back to foundation level. We got to get that into alignment first. And then that's why it's compound. You get the first bit in, which is the clarity, and the clarity of your business is really, really important. And so clarity is so underestimated in business. People are, clarity, and they just band it around as if it's just a nice little word, but clarity is so damn important, because with clarity comes certainty, and with certainty gives you power in terms of making powerful decisions. So clarity always comes first in terms of it's like getting things out of the cupboard and sorting them into piles. So you can like go, right, okay, we don't need that anymore, and we can have that, and then, yeah. And when you do a clarity exercise well, you can sometimes think, oh my God, why did I start this? Because it is a little bit, any of you who've ever done clutter busting, it's like getting everything out of your cupboards and going, why did I start this? But when you do that with a business, with marketing, you can actually get some clarity. You can actually focus for once and go, right, okay, let's just stop and just have a look at this. Next thing you do is, once you've sorted this into piles, you kind of like can sort it into subsections if you want. And then you can start looking at your customers, and you can actually start matching your products to your customers. That's right. That's where one of the biggest problems, one of the biggest disconnects are, that people have products and services, they just market them. Yeah, look, they think that showing up in the world and going, hi, this is me, is enough, and it's not. Because 50% of the people out there are not going to care exactly, what on earth you're selling. They don't care, right? The 50% that do care, well, if you're kind of running around like a kind of woo here and there and whatever, you're going to lose loads of them. It's not, if you haven't got a way of actually being front of mind for them, they're going to find your competitors, or rather, more importantly, your competitors will find them. So I've got some more questions here. Tracy said, I've been a headless chicken for so long, and now working on the foundations. Boring but necessary, and growth is controlled. Absolutely, Tracy. It's very, very important. It's a big part of our program that we help our clients with, because that's essential. Without the kind of the clarity and slowing down, getting those big foundation stones in place. We use the powerful, very powerful persona marketing method in the program, and that's the bit that really powers up businesses. Fang said, my business is not in the high street. How do I let more people know about my business? Well, Fang, what's your you didn't mention what your business was, Fang, actually, I don't think. Pop in the feed for me what your business does. What do you sell, Fang? my business is not in high street. How to let more people know about my business? Yeah, without knowing, Fang, what your business is, it's a bit difficult for me to answer that question. But if you pop it in the feed, pop it in the question thingy, and then I'll be able to give you some pointers on, for your particular type of business, what are the different routes you can use to market your business. I'm going to wait for Fang to reply to that. She's probably frantically typing away now. Anybody else got any questions? Please pop them in the feed for me, and I will get back to you. And before we wrap this up, so yeah, it's business is a masterful skill. You wouldn't, if you wanted to become a brain surgeon, you wouldn't just pick up a book or watch a YouTube video. And I'm not saying that business is as complex as brain surgery, but what I am saying is that if you want to be skilled in any area, if you want to become that masterful artist, you don't just slap some paint on a canvas and walk away from it and just like, whatever. You actually take the steps to learn the skills, to actually apply, because this is the thing, information is everywhere nowadays. You ain't going to get transformation from information alone. It's just never, ever going to happen. All right. So this is about actually recognizing that it's all in the implementation and the practice in business. Beauty and well-being. I have my beauty in my back garden cabin. Okay. So, and what was your, and people said that you were priced you were too cheap. Yeah, for what your pricing wasn't on point. Okay. So again, when you look at alignment, as I said, it's not as simple as just looking at one piece, because when something goes out of alignment, it affects everything else. And when you put something into alignment, it affects everything else. And so it's really important to get that holistic view of a business. Now, you're in your garden cabin, which means that you have a business which is in a static location, just like if you had a bricks and mortar business, Fang. Beauty and well-being, it's hands-on. Ooh, okay, you got a double whammy here, Fang, because you are in one location and you're a hands-on thing. So you're hands-on business. So you are trading time for money. So you're going to have a glass ceiling on your income, and you are location-based. Ooh, okay. Can we see kind of like the challenge here? Now, the challenge is with this existing business you have, okay? There are ways to, yes, increase your pricing for what you do, but it has to be, there is a balance with perception here as well. So for instance, if you had a mansion house with a beautiful cabin by a lake, with kind of people, on the lake, and then the women could go out and they could like lounge on sun lounges and kind of, and you were in a very warm location, and then you could try, well, not try, you will be able to command premium prices. If you've got a little shed that you've converted, and there's nothing wrong with this, but we're looking at we're looking at perceptions as well. Sadly, people do judge books by their covers, and they make a split-second decision about something, and they will do that about your products and your pricing and your business and what your website looks like and everything, you yourself. And so that's where the inner game comes in as well, the inner and outer. It's about recognizing about what the perceptions of others and what their expectations are for a business. So with your business, Fang, without digging a little bit deeper, I invite you, if you want to, jump on one of my breakthrough calls, and we can talk about your business in a bit more depth to find out exactly where the disconnect is and what other options you've got in terms of marketing. But as I said before, it didn't stop me. I had a location-based business, and it was a hands-on business. And what I did is I packaged it up and I put it online, and I taught other people to run a business like that. And that's what took me worldwide. So, there are no, in fact, I earned far more from packaging up the information than I actually did when I had the little location-based business that, crazy. Yeah, she says, I offer Chinese cupping, facial switching, lash tint. Started in August, now have 63 clients. Well done. Hey, my goodness, 63. Fang, tell me, if you increased your prices by, I don't know, 20%, 30%, with those 63 clients, how much extra cash would you have earned? because that's a very good, it's not so much what it's the money that we leave on the table, which is the issue here. It's not, you know, we can like project into the future of how much we could earn, but sometimes the reality strikes when we realize that we had 63 customers there, and if we charge them X percentage more, we would have had extra percentage more in our bank accounts. So that's something for you to think on, Fang. I don't know whereabouts you're based in the world, but oh, she's saying, oh, so funny if she'd come back and say, it is a mansion house, Heather, by a lake. Fang said, it's a very good quality, beautiful and peaceful cabin. Gardens look very pretty. Well, there we go then, Fang. So it's about how you position that in the marketplace. It's how you dial in your marketing. It's how you get everything into alignment so that it flows, and you can then command the higher prices and people will be flocking to you. In fact, you probably have a waiting list because there's only so many people you can actually help with your beautiful services that you're offering. So does that make sense? Hopefully it does, and hopefully some of you will have got some little nuggets out of what I've just said to Fang about that. Lovely. Okay, so I'm going to wrap it up in a moment. If there are any other questions that you want to put in the group, please, you know, click on the video, put them in the comments. That's what I meant to say. If you've got any other questions you want to ask me before I disappear for this evening, I am planning to be with you again 7 o'clock next Thursday. You might want to sort of put it in your diaries if you want to join these calls. It gives you the opportunity to talk with me about any questions that you might have about the subject, about your business and your particular scenario. And I do my very best to help you. Fang says, thanks. Yeah, brilliant. Excellent. Best of luck, Fang, with your business. Stick those prices up. Okay, so that's me for this evening on the live. I hope you find that interesting. Go do some more research about the law of polarity. Again, internal, external, internal, external. You can't change the external. And then, you know, if there's a disconnect in the internal, it isn't going to change until you truly address that issue. And then it's this kind of leveraging and this alignment, yeah, which will elevate your business and you align for success. So anyway, thank you so much for joining me this evening. I will catch up with you next week. Take care until then.